my name is Katie Martin, and I'm coming to you from the great state of Florida. I did not live here except my whole life. I'm a transplant. I was a COVID transplant. I'm one of those people that just, descended, and now I'm part of the problem in Florida, which is so many people here, but it's wonderful. We love living here. It's incredible. We live at the beach. I am a single mom. I have three children. I have a 16-year-old son, 11-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. They're all athletes. They're amazing. They keep me on my toes. But I have been blessed to be introduced to this industry about 8 years ago. And when I say that it was a blessing, it was like one of those things that I never saw coming. I did not think that I was, I thought that I was set. Up until that point, I was a photographer for 14 years. I had a successful studio. I had staff. Was heavily, heavily invested in that. And it was just who I was. I was known as the photographer. So for me to transition my business, which I was so intensely emotionally connected to, really for network marketing to kind of come along by surprise and lure me away from that was really, really a big deal. So in any case, what I did learn, however, when I was a photographer was that I was obsessed with being a part of someone's personal transformation. And for me, that was like such a core principle about like what got me on fire and lit up to get up every day and go to work was I specialized in women's portraits, which when you have a woman that is not ready to spend money on herself, let alone come in with no makeup on her face and just a handful of outfits, and she's basically like, what am I even doing here? I have no idea, like, who convinced me to do this? Like, and to watch that person go through a beautiful hair and makeup and then to sit with me and for me to earn her trust and to make her feel at ease so that I can really connect with her, and then for her to offer her true self to me in this way of absolutely blooming into this most confident version of themselves was the most soul fulfilling thing I could ever witness. It had nothing to even do with like what monkey business I was doing behind the camera. It was the fact that I got to play a role in witnessing someone really come to terms with who they are and the best, most idealistic version of themselves, which they probably look in the mirror every single day and don't see that. Their kids might see it, their husband might see it, somebody else might see it, but they don't see it. And so it was my mission to convince these gals, like, you are gorgeous, you are belong in a Chanel ad, whether you believe it or not. And here I'm gonna take your picture, I'm gonna put your face on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna hand you the proof. And so that was for me being part of somebody's personal transformation and getting the messages later like, oh my God, I started wearing a bikini for the first time in 20 years because I didn't have the confidence to pull it off, or I chopped all my hair off, or man, I went and go bought a totally new wardrobe, or I did something that I never would have done had I not had that experience that really just gave me the opportunity to be reintroduced to myself, something I forgot about myself. So that is something that I truly just became obsessed with. And so whenever I kind of collided with direct sales and it was this makeup company, I truly didn't even see that as a new calling for me or a new industry or a new business. I just thought that this was like a cool tool that for the business that I already had, and it wasn't until I realized how much fun I was having and how attracted people were to it, and that it just sort of took on a life of its own. And then it truly became cost prohibitive for me to continue to spend my time shooting pictures because I was making so much money and impacting way more lives than I ever could satisfying 20 clients a month in my studio. So I was turning a business model, and I was able to impact and scale it in a way where the ethos of who I was the same. It didn't matter if I had a camera in my hand or a makeup brush in my hand, that I was impacting someone's life. And that meant something so dearly to me about the core of who I was. So I'm going to come back to little parts of my story, but it's important for you to know that my calling I see here, I feel here, and I am satisfying that same ethos of who I really am with this company in such a major way, in a way that has allowed me to evolve naturally, gracefully, and intentionally from this photographer into this direct sales thing that I had no idea what this industry was even about. And then learning a lot and then growing into this new opportunity that just is now blowing my mind.